across, and then just parry, parry. So that's what we just did on that drill, so just parry, parry. Okay, so everyone's done that before. Hook left and right, which we've all got, and our defense to that is, we're just going to cover. When you cover, just turn your head a little bit away from wherever it's coming from, okay? So that's hook, hook, and cover, cover. Next one we've got is uppercut, left and right. Anyone remember the defense? The defense. So in the uppercut, we're going to go across the other hand, okay? And meet it. So as it comes down, I want to pat it down here. Okay? Probably never going to get that one first time, but you might have someone who loves doing uppercuts and you start to spot the pattern. So we've done that one before. Okay, round kick, left and right. Yeah, everyone's got that. And the defense, we've got three options for the defense. They're all shin blocks. And now we've got lead leg. So for left stance, we're going to go lead leg 45 degrees out this way. So that's number one, and elbow meets the leg. So that's number one, out of 45 degrees. Number two is the back leg for the other kick, out of 45 degrees. Same thing with the back hand and the back leg. Anyone remember the third one? Yeah, go across. We're going to meet it across here, both hands up. So we've got lead leg 45, rear leg 45, rear leg across. So there's your options. Why might you need a cross one at the end? Last bit.
Just to.
So you might have committed already to that one. You might have it ready for kick, and it's like a reaction. Okay. Then we've got push kick, which is just like a front kick. Yeah. So we've got front kick on lead and back leg. And you remember the defense to this one?
Scoop.
Yeah. So just the start of tie 18. So we're just going to scoop the kick. Okay. Okay, back with your partner, so we're just going to do a couple of those. So we've got jab, cross, hoop, hoop, first of all, okay? So just go with that, and then I'll tell you the next ones. Okay, so this one's crazy monkey defense. So if you can't remember, essentially we're in front of the face, going up and down like a crazy monkey. Anyone remember why? Because it's fun. So if the pressure comes from Mike and it's lots of jab crosses, if I stay here, I'm kind of stuck and he's probably going to get through eventually. So with Crazy Monkey, we want to do something which is going to allow us to get somewhere or do something else, okay? So here is kind of stuck and I'm going to get hurt. Here, it allows me to kind of defend and move into something else. So we're going to do Crazy Monkey and I want to get off to 45 degrees, okay? So a bit like KSI stuff. So when the pressure comes in, we're moving and I want to take to the side, okay? So just want to get off the center line and stop that punches that's coming through, okay, rather than standing still. Does that make sense? So when we drill it, we're just going to, you can move back, that's fine, you get off to the side as soon as you can. Okay, so just with your partner, a little bit of pressure. We've got, which we'll just do in the line again, is we've got overhand, which you've done before. So we've got overhand. We've got upshoot. Anyone remember what upshoot is? So if anyone's sparred with Mike, it's what Mike does to hit you in the face all the time. So it's like, so uppercut would be this kind of range, we're a bit closer. Upshoot is it's just a long uppercut, okay? So the arm's a bit straighter, it's probably still slight bend, but it's just straight up, quite good for getting through that guard to get through here, okay? So we've got overhand, we've got upshoot. Next ones we've got is wide hook. Yeah, so we call it, when we do the 30 punches, we like the long hook. So a normal hook is in here, about 90 degree angle. Wide hook is much longer, so it's more of a range, similar to your overhand kind of range. Okay? And then the final one, phase 2, we've got is just front knee. You got 1 or 2. Okay, so really easy, because you've done it before. So for phase 2, overhand. Let's go. Yeah, up shoot. Yeah. Wide or long hook. Yeah. And then on knee, left or right. Just straight up. Any questions on that? Footwork, which everyone's done before, so we'll just rattle through that. So for phase 1, shoot stance, anyone remember that? So, shoot stance. We're going to go light on the front leg, and it moves forward and back a bit. Okay? So it's like we're kind of dancing a little bit, but it's the same position, so it's not like we're going different angles. Yeah. So it's nice and light in case of... Yeah, so if the person comes in to sweep the leg, if he comes in to sweep the leg, I want to be able to move back. Okay? That is the main reason. Or I'm light so I can push forward for the takedown. Okay? So front leg light on shoot stance. Anyone remember tie stance? So yeah, can we play some tie music? So we're a little bit wider, and all the time we're ready to kick. So it's more of a like aggressive looking stance. We stomp both feet, good posture, hands up high, ready to launch a kick or a knee as quickly as possible. So it's a little bit wider. It's a little bit less mobile than our shoot stance, which is nice and light and jumpy. So we've got shoot, we've got tie. And then our final one was box stance, remember? So we're wide again, and we're up on the back ball of the foot. So the heel's up, and we're throwing punches. So this is our box stance, which is a lot less mobile than our shoot stance. Got tie stance, and then box stance. Okay, good. Step and slide, so we got forward, back, left and right, so just going a little square. So it's step and slide. Just like we do normally, step the lead leg, slide. Or step the closest leg to the direction you're going. So don't cross the feet over.
So that one underneath.
So if I'm going right, it's the right foot first. If I'm going left, it's the left foot first. Okay, good. And then we've got heel toe sway. Yep, exactly that is. So we come up on the heel and the heel. And why do we do this one?
Say, cover.
So it's just teaching us the body mechanics of our punches, our cover, whatever it is. We're just learning to move the hips and the feet and the upper body. So this is Judy last night in his house.
Well, we quite believe it yet.
That's it for phase 1, okay, for our footwork. So shoot stance, tie stance, box stance, step and slide, whichever way, and then a heel toe sway, okay? Phase 2, all we add is a quarter turn left and right, and that's it. So everyone should know this. So yeah, we're just going to turn off. So when we did Crazy Monkey just a minute ago, and the pressure was on, I just quarter turn off, okay? So it doesn't have to be a big 90-degree angle, so it's not like your person's now fighting over here. We just want to try and imagine getting off to 45 degrees, okay? Or the other way. Okay, so when you do this one, imagine you've got an opponent here, okay? And I'm still fighting that opponent, but I'm now off the center line, okay? That's what we're after, rather than this. Okay, that doesn't really have a practical use. So that's it for phase 2. Okay, everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Alright, now we're into the groundwork. So you can take gloves off if you want. It falls. Stay with us,
I'm here, man, I'm here.
to the front, to the back, to the left and the right. And then what's really important is that we get up properly. Okay? So I'll just show the heel. So we've got rear break fall to here. We're going to go on the elbow, this hand stays up, bring the leg underneath. Oh, a tactical stand up, okay. You want to go down? Straight up here, okay. So that's our rear break fall. We're going to go to the side, so we go up at 45, we can hit here as well. Yeah, I'll do it in slow motion. Here, and again, we want want to stand up, elbow, and leg. Okay. Or the other side. Front break fall, what was different on this one? Yeah, so we're going to imagine that there's pressure and we're going to crawl back to turtle in case someone's coming forward, so we'll show that in a second. So we've got front here, we're going to crawl back to here, okay? So, what might happen is we might be stood up, he might do like snap down or something like that on my neck. So I go here, and then he's got that pressure, trying to sprawl on top of me, okay? So I've ended up here. He's going to have pressure here, so I want to get back to here, and now I can defend rather than pie face on the floor. Okay? Thanks. So just a quick practice of those. You go forward, left, right, or back, and make sure you stand up. Watch out for the weights. Put all the weight on. We're going to move around to side, then into caser, back to side, back to mount. Okay, so we're just going to do that all the time. So the weight comes down. Move my hands around, move the leg across. Yeah. You would have your knees at normal. Yeah, that's the normal position. In the side, then I want to bring the arm around, switch here and pull his elbow off the ground. All my weight goes in, do you feel it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Weight goes here, and then we move back to side, switch your legs, back to mount, other side. Okay, just make sure your foot's off the floor. Makes it really important. Control the elbow. Good place for him is elbow on the floor. So I want to control the elbow here. Okay. Back round. All the time he should feel like a pancake, okay? So if your partner's not putting any pressure on, then tell them. Okay? So, yeah. Figure 4. I think it's called something different. Key lock. So we call it figure 4. So key lock. Just the stand thing I go for, opposite hand, pin it down, elbow against the head to break the posture, make a 4 symbol, and then just a little detail, come on your knee, yeah. We're going to hook the opposite foot. So the right leg hooks in here if I'm going for this, to here. So this takes away a little bit of his ability to roll me off or move me about a bit, so you feel that pressure on the leg here. Yeah. Balance, okay. So we're just going to do 5 each side, and go for it, hook the opposite foot. Okay, just 5 each side and then switch. Before you fly the lock. Okay, next. So next we're just going to dismount. So if you're on top or mount, this is phase 1 again. So the usual dismount, you can either put hips up to bring them forward, not balance them, or what's good is just a knee in the back to bring them forward. Just hook the arm, wrap it, hook the foot. Jesus, what were you drinking? We hook this in tight, so remember the table principle, taking away 2 legs at the table. There's a bottle of beer on the table.
Yeah, vodka.
We're going to push up here, move your head out the way to the side, and then we'll just look at tip. And walk. To here, okay? And then we'll stop. So just that normal dismount that we do all the time. And we land nice wide posture on the feet and posture up and wide on the legs. Okay, so we don't want to be like this. It's easier for him to sweep. Okay, so this is our finish position. Okay, give it a quick go. Look to see if there's anything in the way, and then you decide to go anywhere. Okay, so next we're going to do side mount. So this is phase 1 again. He's going to do V-arm lock. So he does the same as what we did in mount, exact same position. And then to apply the lock, he just looks over his left shoulder at the light. So his arms actually do very little of the work. It's all his head that moves his body to apply the lock. Okay. If it's not successful, it's possibly because it's too high up. So just move it down. Yeah, that's awful. So we've got that one. Key lock from side. And then for my go, we've got the dismount. So we want to bring the arm across, kind of like a seatbelt, and grab in his armpit or lap. So he should feel a little bit of pressure here. Takes his head a little bit off the center. Takes his head a little bit off the center line, which makes it difficult for him. And I'm going to turn onto my left hip. All the time I want to keep the forearm against the hip to create space. So when I'm on the bottom, I want to make space. When he's on the top, he wants to remove space. So I've made some space here. I turn towards him, I'm lying on my left hip. And all I'm going to do now is bridge a 45-degree angle that way into the camera, and I turn my hip onto my right hip. So as a bridge, roll that way. It's a little more difficult in slow motion. Okay, so I'll do it faster one. Arm across to here, hand forearm in the hip, turn, and back. And now Mike's turn. Yeah. Got it? Let's give that a go. So phase one again, so we're going to do hip pump sweep, and then we're going to do our first guard break, okay? So this one is normally when his posture is too much up. I'm never going to get it when he's here, okay? It's going to be really difficult. So what I can do is I can pull him in, and his natural reaction might be to go back, then I can go for the technique. That's a pretty good way to apply it. So if he is upright, we're going to come up on elbow, hand, and we're going to bring this arm over, release the feet, and this is the position where I want to get to, okay? All is one movement, we're here. Elbow, hand, break the feet, arm comes over, and then for the final part of the move, we just hit your hip into his chest as hard as you can, and you just look at the door, okay? With a war face. Okay. We'll keep doing it until Doogie's sick. To the other side, elbow, and break the feet. This comes over, hit the chest. One more for fun. Okay, I enjoyed that one. This one, we're going to break the guard. So now I'm in Dooley's guard. Okay, that name went horribly wrong. Okay, so here we're going to go hands on the hips so we know where he is. So in the guard, I'll just put that belly away. In the guard position,
Good living, sir.
if we remember, he wants to move to the side, so he can't do much on the flat of his back. So if he wants to do an arm bar, for example, he needs to move side to side. Okay, so we want to control the hips, so we want to know where we're at, so I can adjust myself if he moves. Okay, so from here, we're going to dig the elbows in really hard onto the thighs to try and break the guard. Yeah. So there's always two steps to getting out of guard. One is to break the guard, and the other is to pass the guard. So there's different ways you can break it, different ways you can pass it, and then you can combine those. So we're going to break the guard here. We're going to keep the elbow in here all the time. Now we're going to go arm under, and we're going to pass, and we're going to grab the back of his head and make him kiss his knee. Really important that you keep this here, and if his leg moves around, it just goes with it, it just follows. Because as soon as I'm here, he's going to be looking for, pull the arm in, a triangle. To here, okay? So this is the most important part of this technique. This comes over, grab his head, and we're just going to walk around. It's very uncomfortable for him. You can grab the arm here, but you don't have to. You just want to pass to mount, okay? Hands on the hips. Break the guard. This stays here. This is arm under. Here, and we just walk around. Yeah, feels good, doesn't it? Okay, and when we want, we just pass knee across the belly. To here. Okay, got it?
Go the other way.
So this time here, arm under. Grab his head, make him kiss his knee, and just walk around. It's nice and slow and horrible. Knee over. Okay? Just throw him out. Okay. So the reason that we put the pressure on the leg, so when he goes for the guard pass to here, if he doesn't do it controlled and make me kiss the knee, if he just tries to throw the leg over, this is what will probably happen. I'll move to turtle and then I'm away. Okay, so that's kind of not what we want. So make sure you put that pressure on and it's kind of slow rather than a big scramble of throwing it away, because you're giving them the chance to get away, which is not what we want. Okay, next we're going to go, we're going to add three things together. So we're going to go from mount, we're going to dismount, like we just did, move the guard. Okay, now it's Tim's turn to, oh wait, no, it's my turn. To get out the way that we just did. And we're going to move around to side mount, to to here, and then Tim's going to do the side mount. Dismount. So here. Left arm across the hip.
Yep.
Yeah, this way, and then bridge. Here and tape mount. Okay, now back to the start. So we've got from mount to guard. It's my turn again. To side mount. Now we switch. Good. And mount. Back to the start. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, give that a go. It's a one. Like position. Ladder, yeah, thanks. So it just shows the positions which are good at the top and bad at the bottom. So the top is where you want to be. So back mount is a good place to be. Obviously then on top of mount is a good place to be. So I know Russell wanted to get some pictures of them, so we'll do that at the end of the position so you can see. The reason the green box around the guard is it depends on your style. So some people prefer to be under guard, so they can do stuff like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tends to prefer that. But when you're punching, potentially you might change your mind and go top guard's a little bit better sometimes, okay? Any questions on that? NS is north-south, okay? So we'll do a couple of pictures for Russell at the end of that. Okay, just grab a quick drink and then we'll rattle through your face. We're going to combine two things here. So we've got the lock blow 1 to 3, and then we're going to do the arm bar defense as well, okay? So we've got a V arm lock from phase 1 in the arm. Here, hook the foot in, and arm lock. Obviously we've all done this before. If the pressure's back, we don't fight it, we go with the pressure and take it across. Bring your hand around behind, grab the wrist. He turns his head away a little bit so he doesn't get the front of his throat. I put my forearm through, and then I'm going to come up my tiptoes and put all of the weight of my body through my forearm for the job. From here we're going to go arm bar, so we're going to keep this here all the time, hug it into the chest and use it to lift them up. And then going to move my knee up behind, replace my foot on the front, so he should feel the pressure on his ribs and the pressure behind here, so that it's taking away the space. From here we're going to pin his face and swing the leg over, sit back for arm bar. Knees tight together, pull down. If you're higher up on the arm bar, it's a lot easier rather than being laid all the way back here. Sometimes it's a bit more difficult. So actually sitting up and having his arm pointing up can be easier to get the lock. Don't cross your feet, we don't want to cross the ankles. There are some locks you can get from there, and also your knee works up and down, not sideways. If you do feel you need to cross it, you can cross your toes on top of your toes. But you want to keep your knees together, pointing up to the ceiling. I find that gives me cramp, like just like that. So we got 1, 2, and for 3, pull up. Keep that pressure on here. Step over, knees together, arm bar. That's the start. If we just switch positions and you go for the arm bar, we're then going to get out of it as well. So just go straight for arm bar. Okay, so if I'm here, it's probably too late, but early on, I want to get rid of this leg. So if we imagine that we're like halfway through him doing it, okay, so remember if he's done the full technique, I'm already stuffed. But what I want to do, as soon as I get that opportunity, I want to pass this leg, and put my head on it, and bridge up. So all my weight's on his leg. Feels nice? And that is going to stop him applying the arm bar. It's very unlikely he could get the arm bar from here. We're going to grab, you can grab your wrist if you want, or you can grab this way. And I'm just going to drive that elbow into him as I turn up onto my knees. This way. Okay, so really it would be on his body, but he won't want to train with me anymore. So we're here. We turn it this way into the guard. Okay, so do one more time. So from the arm bar position, as soon as I get the chance to pass it, weight up on the leg, and spin round. Okay, so do the 3 locks and then get out of the arm bar. Cheers. Okay, so the next one, we're going to get from under mount to half guard. So this is the one where we're going to straighten one leg on the floor, turn slightly so that I can hook this foot here. If you need to pass it with your hand, that's fine. It tends to be really difficult if you're either not flexible of the person on top is really heavy, because it means it's hard to turn on the side. But once I manage to do that, so I straighten the leg, I hook the foot here and I wrap it in the back of my knee. From here, all I'm going to do is move from my left hip onto my right hip, and all I want to do is just create a little bit of space. It doesn't matter if it's that much or this much. Bear in mind, he's probably still going to bring the pressure and still have the weight and still be doing stuff. As soon as I've got this slightly off the ground, it's like a bounce on a basketball, and I want to jump my legs up. So this is the one that's good to wear a box for. And I'm going to take my legs around his thigh. So I push here and jump my legs up to here. And this is our half guard position. He then is putting his weight down to react, and then we're going to work from there to whatever. Okay? So we'll just go with that for now. Leg straight. Bring this here. If you can't get it, use your hand, that's fine. Turn back, create that space, and push to here. And then we're in half guard. Okay? Give it a quick go and then we'll add to it. Go for underhook. So we're going to use it to create a little bit of space. So if he's got the pressure down or whatever, I want to, sorry, we'll go outside. I want to underhook, which creates the bit more space between us, okay? So just come right the way up, and this allows me to move my butt out a little bit and get my forearm or elbow across his leg. Once I've got that, I want to push until my knee's across. Once you've got the knee across, you're pretty much there. All you need to do is just lie flat on your back again and right yourself for guard. Remember this one? It's a little bit difficult to see. So the legs are on this side, so that's the side I want to underhook, which creates the space. Forearm or hand across, he's quite far away, so I'll just use the hand. Knee goes across his thigh, and now just right yourself by lying on your back and swing your leg through. So this is half guard, underhook, guard. You got it? Okay, if you're stuck, I'll come around and help you. Okay. So you've done these before. So we're just going to go right hand to right hand, pin it down, foot on the hip. Use that foot to push you away from him to the side. The leg comes up, it's like a big axe kick on his back, so you should feel that pressure. And then we're going to push the face, swing the leg around. So this is your position where you end up. So call this like a catch position in catch wrestling. So this is basically just before the tap. So now I know I've won, stop for a little pause, because everything's in place correctly, ready for that move. Okay. We'll go to the other side, pin here, foot on the hip, use it to push, leg comes up the back to here. Okay, so just keep alternating inside. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one is, from phase one we had the hip bump sweep, so we went to this position, which is called reverse overhook. Now, if he drops his weight, or he knows what I'm doing, I can't go for that sweep anymore, so I'm just gonna grab his wrist and fall back for Kimura to here. So important detail is the legs across here to stop him forward rolling. Option one is you put it on his back and you just push it up his spine. Option two is you straighten it out and you now try and touch the top of his head. Depends on the person which one's gonna work. Okay, so we go for the hip bump sweep. It doesn't work, so just drop back down. Apply the lock. The third one that we're going to do is we're just going to go at guillotine. So it's the same idea. Instead of the Kimura, I just wrap his head. So we'll go for the hip bump sweep. Doesn't work or whatever, or it might be a pretendy thing. And then fall down, forearm across his neck, really gently so we don't hurt him forever. And then to put the technique on, it's not about my arm strength, it's about the legs. I just touch the legs to the floor to apply the lock. Rather than riding on like this, just touch your feet to the floor. Okay, give those three a go. Thanks. Ideally, size the sweep or whatever you try to call it the other day. Core bridge. Language. Okay, so just for simplicity, we're going to use a grip like this. We can also do it like this. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we grab the collar. We could also underhook. So there's a few different options, but just to really simplify it, we're just going to grab here. This goes above the head, and I'm going to move onto my left hip. This lies on the thigh. If I put it on the floor, it's easy for him to put his knee on, which is going to obviously nullify everything I want to do and hurts a lot. So it always should be slightly off the floor to make it more difficult. And it kind of, if he moves, it'll move with it. So that, you know, before when we had this one, we had the underhook to pass and he did this, if my leg moved, it's kind of that idea, okay? So the leg's slightly off the floor, knee comes across at 45. If I go too flat, he'll bring this hand through onto this thigh and he'll sprawl out. And now I'm stuck, okay? So that's bad. So we want to try and keep it at 45, which makes it a little bit harder. And I'm going to pull this up. This is 50% of the technique, this is 25 and this is 25. This goes back, this goes forward. So it's not about your leg strength, it's more about pull him where he isn't. To there, and then we come up to mount. Okay, so this is a silly sweep. Move on the side, pull up and kick. If you're finding that it's not working and you get stuck in this position and you can't kick him, it's because you're trying to use your legs too much. Think about this. Pull him up to where he isn't. It takes away a lot of the leg power. Okay, so try that both sides, please. And break to like a combat base, and then we go knee either side. So there's two techniques. So we go one arm in front, one inside. Always keep the elbows inside his leg, otherwise it gives him options. So we always want to kind of be thin. So one here, one here. I'm gonna put like a horror film or something. We're gonna put the same side, whichever one's forward. We're gonna put the knee right in the middle, and I'm gonna do this giant step backwards. So it's not about the arms necessarily. The arms stay where they are. I do a big step back to break that grip. Okay, so arms stay where they are. If you're struggling with it, as you step back, push your arms forward a little bit, it might help you. From here, as soon as possible, I come up on the flat of my foot. So this is the position where we stop. So that's our guard break. Now we do our guard pass, as quick as possible. Just bear in mind, you could potentially sweep me with the sweep that we just did. So act quickly, okay? You can't sit there for 5 minutes, okay? Knee in the butt, step back. This comes up, and I get a stable base. Option one is the near leg. So I go across here. No, sorry, this will be the far leg. So this comes across all the way through his thigh, but I'll be nice. And I want to put this position, underhook here, and then I'm going to move out side mount. If I don't underhook, you can then take my back, which is bad for me. So we underhook, now take my back. Doesn't really work. Yeah. All I do is just walk around to side mount. So that's the easy version. So from here, sorry, knee across. The other version is we go on the near side, which is here. Again, I underhook with the other side now. And here I've got a little bit of a problem. I've got a leg stuck that might get stuck in half guard. So I need to keep this leg pinning to stop half guard so I can get this leg free. And we do that by doing a big dramatic swing round to here. And I then have to switch my hips back to free this leg. Here, where I've ended up, this goes across, underhook, swing the leg. You can replace the hand there if you want, and then switch off. Okay, you got it? Okay. One more time, quick. Knee in the butt, big step back. And knee comes up, switch across. Okay, so give a go both sides. So this is the exact same technique. So normally in half guard, so he's wrapped the leg, I would normally want to keep weight down and make it uncomfortable. I would normally put the shoulder in his face and try and turn him away. He wants to turn towards me to then be able to do stuff, so my goal is to turn him away. It makes it harder for him. So this is probably where we're at. From here, it's a little bit of an explosive kind of movement. Just careful you don't knee him in the bits. This is a good time to wear a box. So what I'm going to do is, if I do it in slow motion, it's really obvious it's not going to work, but I'll do it in slow motion now. We're going to go hands on the hips, and we're going to use that to allow us to stand up. Okay, even if he's still got the legs around, I want to get to this position where the flat of this foot's on here. Okay, this could still be down, it doesn't matter, sorry. This foot has to be down. And now we're in the same position that we were in a minute ago. I can either go across the knee, across the thigh to here, or we can go across that way.
So don't like the camera being on for this one.
So we push up, we come up onto the flat of this, onto the ball of the foot, and now I just go across. Okay, and doesn't work if you wear them wrestling boots as well, because your heel gets stuck. So we're here, push up, and go this way if I want. Does that make sense? It's the exact same technique. If it was in mid-air, I'm from here, I push, just on the flat of that foot, and then across. Okay, so give that a try both ways. So this
What's that one called?
Escape, half guard, hands on hips escape from half guard. This is one position for rear mount, or if you're going to openings. This would also be rear mount with the hooks in here, or got this one. Pull it back. Good for your back. Slide down. Don't kill your back. Yeah. Let's strain your legs out. So this would also be back mount as well. So a couple of variations there of rear mount. Just for simplicity, if you just sit, your feet forward. This is a rear mount, so feet are in. If you cross the feet, you can cross his feet over the top, go opposite leg first. And then he can straighten and horrible lock. So never cross your feet. His goal is to get rid of them, obviously, so that he can then get away. So all the time we're going to keep putting the hooks back in. So this would just be the position, just touch your feet together. We're going to go rear naked choke, which is the arm around the neck. Obviously, we've done it before. If he sees it coming, he can block. So I want to slide it across. Bicep goes on one side of the artery, and the forearm goes on the other side. So it's not on the front of the neck, it's a blood choke on the side of the head. This hand comes round, and we're going to grab the other bicep. To apply the lock, we just touch our elbows together. So it doesn't matter if this is here to stop the headbutting, or if it's tucked in. It's much harder for him to get out if the arm is tucked in, because he can't find it to get rid of it. Whereas it's a bit, he can find it here and it'll slide off his shiny head. So from here to apply the lock, all I do is touch my elbows together. There. So I just touch my elbows together. I don't need to push forward or puff my chest out or anything like that. Just need to touch my elbows together for the lock. That's a blood choke. Is his eyes coming out yet?
He looks like he wants to be choked.
He's enjoying it. Okay, so just rear naked choke from rear mount.
What are you got tangerine in your eye?
2, I think it is, which is the one from side mount. So we're gonna go. Pardon? It's up to 6. So there's 10 shoot floor drills. So this one's the second one. Okay. So we're gonna go in this position here. To get there, we're just gonna dig the elbow in the shoulder. It's quite a cool way if he's like defending or whatever. It allows me to flip it potentially. Okay, because he's never really gonna give me this. Okay, so number 1 is dig that in like crazy on the delt. I was going soft there as well. That's 1. Number 2 is we pin it, we wrap. Just to note as well, I'm taking the pressure off as well because I'm really heavy, so normally you wouldn't do that. So we're in the upside down figure 4, or the same as the Kimura position. Now I just sit back on my heels, which elevates him. And now I just turn that to the ground. Obviously, if I push it down here, it can't go through the ground. So this is 2. 3 is the exact same position. I straighten it, and it's like a pressure on the tricep. Okay, so I don't adjust the position at all. I don't put it down. I go from here to here. Okay. Then I grab his elbow. I go put my position back, and just squeeze on here. Now keep the grip on the wrist. Straighten to here. Is anyone counting? Or do you think it's one more? Now switch the hands to here and bend his elbow for him. So again, he's not going to do it for us. So switch the grip and bend the elbow for him. And I bring this under. This is the lock that we did earlier. Okay, so that should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, give that a quick go. Wakizashi, which means pummeling. So we've got this.
I'll pick up on it shit.
Just for the video. So we've got Wakizashi. So the takedowns we're going to do, obviously we already did double leg in phase 1, which was this. To here, bring the leg round and turn. This time we're just going to go for the single leg, so it's the same. To here, touch this, but this arm's inside now, and I stand up at an angle to here, and I knit my legs around his leg. And then run the pipe, which is our first takedown. I just drop my shoulder, and I just look at the pillar to here. Okay, you can go for locks or whatever, or we can just knee on belly or side mount or whatever. So don't leave it there on a quick hanger. Here, drop the shoulder to wherever we go. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one is a single to double. So same thing, when I get to here, he brings the leg on the outside. All I do is take this arm out and I shoot for a double leg, but a little detail, just move your head on the inside. Okay, so the head goes inside and just drag forward. So that's single to double. Then we got double to single. So when I go for the double, he braces this leg back so he knows what we're doing. I'm not going to get the double, so I just go single. And then any other option of what we just did. Okay? So that's our 3 takedowns. Single and run the pipe, single to double, double to single. Okay? Give it a go.
Yeah.